Hello, hello, amazing readers out there. How are you today? I am Kelly Lynn Colby, editorial director at Cursed Dragon Ship Publishing. I am also a freelance editor, a writer, and a reader.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Pettway. For this month and next month, I will remain the guy who wrote the books, and I am also the co-host for the show. And coming off of a wonderful Thanksgiving, I really enjoyed it and did a ton of cooking, have a ton of leftovers, and I'm planning on not cooking again for about the next week.
Right? What's your favorite thing to do with leftovers?
It's really sandwiches. I mean, I'll make a sandwich out of any goddamn thing, but that is in particular, Thanksgiving leftover sandwiches are the bomb. That's my favorite thing. I made extra cranberry sauce. I mixed blueberries into my cranberry sauce this year, and
What a good idea.
yeah, it came out really good. It softened the flavor just a little bit, but it was still more than tart enough for the meat. And so I will have good sandwich mixings for a month.
Sometime. I love it. I love it. Our favorite is we have 3 standbys. Because we actually cook turkey year round.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't, but turkeys are actually so easy. I don't know, especially once we learned how to spatchcock them.
Mm-hmm.
They're easy. They feed a bunch of us. And when we cook them, we have lots of leftovers, right? That we even freeze some of it that we use later. Because we like to put like the chicken legs in beans.
Mm-hmm.
So, so we save all that. So we cook it all year round. And our 3 favorite leftovers to do after the turkey is risotto.
Right.
And because you use the carcass to make stock, right? So you've got all that kind of stuff. And then anything left over from the dinner from Thanksgiving, you just throw in the risotto. So we put the acorn squash in the risotto this time. It's delicious. And the gumbo. Gumbo's the other thing we make. Again, you make the stock with it, and then we've got all the leftovers to put in there, and we just add, some andouille sausage, stuff like that. Otherwise, we throw everything in there. And turkey pot pie.
Mm.
So those 3 things are our favorite things to make. So today we made risotto.
That sounds amazing.
It's so delicious. So let us know in the chat if you celebrate Thanksgiving. What are your favorite things to do with leftovers? Meanwhile, I am so excited to talk about Illusions of Decency.
I know you are.
Oh my gosh. I have to say, because sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I love that movie. And then you watch it again and you're like, why did I love that movie? I don't remember why. So I love this book so much. I was afraid I'd have the same experience, but I did not. It's still my favorite. I love this book.
I'm really glad, and because I knew that you loved this book in particular, I'm flipping the script on you a little bit this go around, and I have questions for you about the book and why you like it and what you think about it. So I don't know, I not a bunch of questions, but enough to chat for a little while when we get to that point.
And for the audience, as your warning, this will be a spoil-free, as in there's lots of free spoilers. So if you have not read earlier, or if you've not read this one yet, please go read the book. It is the 4th book in the Misplaced Mercenaries series. I don't think I've said that yet. So this is the 4th book. You can find books 1 through 3 discussions in the Shore Leave Book Club on our channel at Cursed Dragon Ship. So if you go to youtube.com, where you are, at Cursed Dragon Ship, which is also where you are if you're watching this, then you can watch the first 3 also to get the spoilers from earlier until you get to this one. Otherwise, you might be a little lost. You know how they say you don't have to read the earlier ones? No, you kind of have to read the earlier ones. But if you are with us and you are caught up and you are ready to go, strap in, because this is a fun one.
I do think, though, if there's any one book other than the first book that's kind of like a standalone in this series, it is this one.
Yeah, but you got Gabby.
Yeah,
that's kind of important.
Yeah. Gabby gets introduced right at the end of book 3, except you don't know what Gabby is when you see them. Then you don't it doesn't get explained until later. Now
This one.
you've told me before,
Hmm.
speaking of Gabby, that you particularly enjoyed them and their voice.
Hmm.
And I
Well, it. Remember, you use the pronouns it.
yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Um and I wondered about it because I when I was writing Gabby, I was a little concerned that there would be no reason for the reader to trust Gabby and that there would be an immediate um, remove from that character because everybody's like, I don't trust what's going on. This does not seem right.
Hmm.
But you never displayed that. Why was that? Why did you attach so early to that character?
Because of Sarah's reaction to her,
Mm.
or it. Because of Sarah's reaction to Gabby, I immediately had no problem with Gabby. Was
Okay.
I curious about exactly what Gabby meant for Sarah? Yes. Did I find Gabby to be a threat? No, because I trusted Sarah's instincts 100%. If I trust anyone through this entire book, it's Sarah. Does that mean Sarah does everything right? No, of course not. I mean, that's boring. There's actually some times in here we see that on display, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's on display very clearly. Um, but because Sarah was okay with Gabby, because Sarah was learning from Gabby, and because Sarah didn't feel threatened, or the questions that she didn't have answers to, she was okay with, I was okay.
Yeah, and Sarah does very much say, I don't know what's going on here. I don't
Mhm,
know where this thing is coming from,
mhm,
but I don't feel like it's a threat to me.
mhm. Right.
Okay.
And so that was
Actually,
good with me.
and that actually sort of brings up another question. And I haven't gotten into the questions I was going to ask yet.
Okay.
Um, because this book starts off the first half at least
Mhm,
is very adversarial against two characters that I know you in particular really like.
mhm.
Um, did you ever find yourself rooting against one of them? Thinking I really hope that this character wins over this character.
I never did. Probably if you had one victorious over the other, again, this is spoilers, we've already read it. I probably would have talked to you about it. I would have been like, wait a minute now. Because they're actually aiming for the same thing. And because we get both their perspectives as the reader, we know they are too. It's them in their own minds, in their own little tunnels that they don't understand.
Yeah.
But as the reader, if I only got one perspective or the other, I might have been.
Okay.
But because I have both of them, I knew they weren't adversaries. They just didn't know it yet.
Yeah. That was another thing as I was writing that I worried about. I'm like, because
Mhm,
I wanted I wanted it to be very believable that both of these two characters, Sarah and Moorholt, would come
mhm,
off as bad guys to each other.
mhm,
But at the same time, I didn't want the reader to perceive them that way.
mhm.
And like you say, you trust Sarah. You already trust Sarah.
Already trust Sarah. I had 3 books with Sarah. Totally trust Sarah.
And so when Sarah says, I hate this guy, he's a bad guy, I'm going to kill him,
Mhm,
I worried that would be too influential, uh, to readers. But
mhm,
um, but no, I don't. I mean, having reread it again, I didn't pick that up as a reader,
mhm.
reading my own thing. But
I will say though, because this is the second time reading it, so hence I also knew all the spoilers, right? That if you had not put those hints in, because it was like the king wants him dead.
mm.
And so the first time I read it, I was like, well, what does Keen know that we don't? And if he knows something we don't, why wouldn't Sarah know it? They don't keep secrets, right? And then I was like, but because you very cleverly put in along the line, Sarah's like, there's something wrong with Keen. I'm not sure what it is, but I need to deal with this, but I really need to figure out what's wrong with Keen. I was like, oh, something's wrong with Keen. Okay. So something, he does know something, but this is why they're not communicating. This is why, obviously, I didn't guess what it actually was until, of course, the kids, right? And then again, I'm not guessing it. You told us, right?
Yeah.
So Shayla, I'm so bad at names.
Mhm.
Where Shayla was like, there's something wrong. And like, she figures it out about what's wrong first. And so then that explains that last bit of puzzle as a first time reader that I didn't know. And of course, now reading it, I knew that already. So that wasn't.
Right. So Volker and Shayla under the stairs with the Stumpleberry pie.
And Moon. Now,
And
Moon,
Moon.
I did not forget about the kids. I freaking adore the kids. I forgot about Moon. Oh my gosh, I love Moon. I love Moon. I totally forgot about Moon.
Moon was a lot of fun for me to write just because I had this very clear picture in my head of this giant slobbery dog who was even maybe a little bit taller than these children. And so when he licks, he's like right in their face, and there's nothing they can do about it because he's too damn big. But I creeped myself out with that scene, with the way it ends.
Oh yes, with Keen coming in.
With Keen coming in.
Yeah.
And I was wondering how that hit the first time you read it.
I don't remember totally, but yeah, it was definitely that moment when was like, I was like, that's not Keen. That was because that was not. We know, again, we spent 3 books with Sarah. We spent 3 books with Keen. I know Keen. That was not him.
Yeah, that
Um,
warms my heart to hear you say.
yeah, I was like,
Because,
there is no way after the childhood, and as much as he loves his wife, was excited she was having the baby, right? There is no way a man like that would treat his kids like that. So I was like, there is something wrong. And in my head, because I get images, when I read a book, I see it in my head.
yeah,
And in my head, in that scene, Keen doesn't even look like Keen.
interesting.
So it's because it's completely different person. I mean, I could see him losing his temper, but he would lose it in a way that the kids would laugh at, like he would not.
Very likely, yes.
Right. And so there's no way.
Well, yeah, like
I mean,
there,
he
there's this
didn't
scene.
treat people he was stabbing swords with like that. Do you see? Like,
Yeah.
there's no way he would do that with his kids,
Well, and
with any kids.
there is a scene in this book where after he's been returned to normal, and he's angry and he's cussing, and the kids are laughing at him, and Daddy said a bad word. Which,
Yes.
they must say that a lot. But
Yeah, right? That is the relationship I saw. So when I saw him under the stairs like that you're right. When I was thinking it was Shayla figured out, that was the moment that as a reader, I knew that wasn't Keen either.
yeah,
But I still wasn't angry about it. At that point, I'm just questioning, right? Because Sarah knew there was something wrong too. But she's too busy in her who am I? She still has not figured out who the hell she is, right? Right at that point of the book.
yeah.
So she's still busy with her who am I shit that she couldn't really work out the Keen shit. And quite frankly, Keen's not her problem, right? Keen is Megan's problem. So,
She's already
right?
made the handoff.
Yes. She's like, your problem now. I mean, we're gonna have friends. We're still best friends forever. But it's kind of what you do with siblings, right? You have siblings, and that they are siblings, right? And so siblings, you're like, I am no longer the primary person who you're the oldest, right?
Yeah.
Right. So as the oldest, I'm the oldest too. So it's like I'm the primary. I have to be, worry about you all the time, right? And even though Keen's the oldest, technically, they would worry about each other. It just he got handed off first, right? So it was like, I need to worry about you because I'm your emergency contact for a modern comparison. And then as soon as they get married off, it's like, haha, you are now their emergency contact. And in my head, that's what happened with Keen and Sarah, right? And so she
Okay.
can now actually have the time to worry about herself because now Keen is Megan's problem. So you worry about it, but you're not like, I need to solve this problem right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, and that's I didn't really think about it exactly in those terms, but that makes a lot of sense when you put together the fact that uh, this book and the next one, Sarah's not around a lot. She's, the story follows her, but she's not at the castle. She's not interacting with Keen and the kids the way that she
She's not
normally
helping to
would.
raise them, right?
Yeah. The kids adore her and she adores them and she feels very protective towards them. But, you know, by the end of this book, she's been gone a year.
Yeah.
And then, in the next one, she's been gone longer. Um, the scenes with Sarah and Volker and Shayla, the two kids, really I found were really touching.
Yeah.
I
Actually, I'm
enjoyed.
going to interrupt you because I know you said that you couldn't see the chat. And I do want to say that Charles has joined us. So yay,
Hey,
Charles, welcome. He says, hello, still working, but listening. And he agrees about Keen, not Keen. And he loves how the daughter came right to Aunt Sarah to fix daddy and mommy.
and I just want to say happy birthday to Charles, and that I appreciate you being around. We are always glad to see regulars. Okay, so I'm gonna get started with these with my actual questions now.
Ooh.
So, Illusions of Decency at first blush looks like it's about revenge.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah's revenge for the death of Captain Fault, then
Mm-hmm.
Moreholt's for the death of Gluff. But in truth, it's not. At what point did you realize that the book is really about trust? And if you need examples, I've got some.
I don't know if I would have said that's what the book was about.
Okay.
Even
So,
though the first thing I said was that I trust Sarah, right? So
right.
instinctively there was something, but I wouldn't have said that's what the book was about. I would think
think
that the
about
book was
think about
about
this.
truth.
Sarah and Moreholt's trust for each other. They start out on, them wanting to kill one another, and
Mhm.
by the end, they are relying on each other. They spend time literally tied to one another, and at the
Mhm.
end, the last thing that Moreholt does is give Sarah the rune engine, which he has been, keeping hold of.
Withholding from all of
He's,
his other lovers,
right,
yeah.
he's been guarding it for 15 years, including, from people that he married.
Mhm.
Sarah trusting Gabby, like you mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
Volker and Shayla trusting their parents.
Mhm.
Brannick trusting Jasmine, which is a major theme.
Yeah.
The free hand trusting Moreholt. They start out not really trusting him very much, and by the end, that whole team has come together.
Mhm.
And literally nobody's trusting Van Cess.
For
Um,
good reason. Yeah.
but that I didn't think about it at first. But then I noticed that's a drum that keeps getting beat
Mhm.
in different ways throughout the book with every relationship in it. Um, and I wondered if that had caught your attention at all. But I guess it
No,
didn't.
it's a fair assessment. For me, it was more about truth though.
Hmm.
Because they learned to trust each other once they found out the truth, not the illusion of what they were told or what they thought they were supposed to see or what their limited, just their own personal, what they experienced instead of looking outside themselves to what actually happened.
Do you think
To
we're
me, it was truth.
do you think we're just using two different words to say the same thing?
I think I think they reflect each other. So one leads to the other. Because how
Okay.
can you really truly trust someone if you don't know the truth about them? So I think they kind of go hand in hand. And until you trust someone, do they ever let you know what the truth is? Right? Until they trust you, are they going to show you what their truth is? So I think it just kind of goes hand in hand. So these two things, it's actually an interesting concept that you bring up. I'd be interested to see in more books if those things actually go more hand in hand than we think they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because I have family members that I love, but I don't trust.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes that is also because I don't know their full truth because they don't share them, right?
I have
So this isn't about love. This isn't about family. This isn't about which some of the other books were, right? But
I had
truth
a
and trust might go
very
hand in hand.
dear, wonderful friend, one of my closest,
Hmm.
that I would absolutely have trusted, with my life.
Hmm.
But I would never lend them money. I
See?
didn't mind
Yes.
I didn't mind giving them money, and I
Yes.
did,
Uh-huh.
but I would never lend it to them.
Yeah.
Um, and and it's just funny, and it's like, but would you say that you trusted that person or not? I would say that I did. Um,
Because you knew the truth about them.
yeah, yeah, I guess
Uh-huh.
so. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number two.
No, that's interesting. I think they might be more intertwined than we think they are.
Yeah. Like most books, Illusions was not written in a vacuum.
No.
What part of the story were you, Kelly Lynn Colby, the proudest of, that you as an editor had a hand in bringing to life?
Oh my gosh, that was a long time ago. Um, that's a really tough question.
Well, you've asked me lots of questions that I don't remember because I wrote it too damn long ago. So-
I think to me, the biggest that I am proud of is actually challenging you. What I mean by that is this is the first book that you wrote for me.
Mhm.
And so what I mean by that is for Cursed Dragon Ship Publishing. You didn't have this written before we signed a contract. You didn't have this written before we met each other. So this is the first one that you wrote for me. Instead of taking the one you already had written,
Mm.
I was like, "Can you do another one instead?" And you were like, "No, I mean, yes. Of course I can. I don't want to, but I'm gonna."
It made sense. It made sense.
That might be the thing I'm most proud of for my insert. Because the only other things I really remember that I put in here, like that I helped you see, was the children. Because I have to say, like the dog, because you are a dog daddy. You don't have human children. And by the way, I don't mean I created the children. I did nothing of those children. This is all Kevin Pettway, which is one of the things I think is miraculous that he gets the children so well. But the only thing I think that I made you do is I had you age them up because
Mm.
being advanced is fine. But
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
I do
Shayla was what,
remember that.
4? Wherever you had her, it was really young. And like when they were doing the balancing stuff in the on the castle walls and stuff, when they were up in the garden in Green Shade, up on the
Yeah, yeah.
right. And I was like, there's no way. Cause at that age, like I've watched these kids in gymnastics. They can't even walk in a straight line. Like there's no, it doesn't matter how advanced their brain is, their body still takes time.
I remember you
And
telling me about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I had you age them up, and just to call you just needed a little bit, right? So I remember doing that, aging them up, and I didn't question their age at all in here. Is Shayla advanced for her age? Yes, she is, but that's okay. This is part of the thing that we accept, and there are always exceptional children, right? Always.
And if she weren't, she wouldn't be such a gigantic pain in the ass to her parents, which was really important that she be. Because I basically I like broke up both Keen and Megan's personality traits and divided them between those two children.
It's
And
brilliant.
and
No one
and
could
I
question who they are.
basically tried to figure it out so that they would both be um, maximally harrowing as parents to try and raise.
And that's the thing, but the fact that you did that can make people who maybe don't see characters the way we do, right? Because we're looking at them in a very analytical way, right? As both the author and the editor, we are analyzing the stuff that we are reading and writing. And so a reader might not necessarily do that. So the fact that these children are a pain in the behind, first of all, works because it's their children. Second of all, when Keen is really mad at them, if you are not reading it thoroughly, you might think like, oh, these kids have put him at his last end. Because all of us parents have had a moment that we are not proud of, right? So you could have a moment going that, ooh, you went just too far that time. And I could see Keen, getting there, but not because they stole a pie. Like that would not. He'd be like, "Where's mine?"
Yeah.
So, but so that I think it's very very clever. I love the kids. I love the kids. And Charles said that earlier too. when he was talking about when we were in a different chat completely. He was like, I'm almost done with Illusions of Decency. I love the kids. I'm like, me too.
I really enjoyed them. They were a lot of fun to write, and the reason I think that they come across very naturally, despite my not having any of my own.
Mhm.
I did basically have a large hand in raising both my little brother and my little sister. But mostly, I think it's just that I am incredibly immature. And so it's really easy for me to reach back and think, okay, how do I, like, if I take the adult filters off
Mhm.
and just think, how do I react to this situation? And just
Mhm.
write that as a child, it's going to come across pretty well, I think. Seems to anyway.
Well, it
But
worked.
but yes, just as far as like this being the first, CDS book,
Mhm.
um, for me, this was the first one that I wrote that I was able to incorporate all of the lessons that you had been teaching me um, throughout the first three. Now,
Mhm.
those first three um, were finished very well by those lessons. You taught me. I went through, rewrote a bunch of stuff, and figured out how it ought to go. But
Mhm.
this was the first one that I was able to put together from the ground up,
Mhm.
knowing those lessons instead of just learning on the job. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I had that same kind of reaction.
I'm in your head.
Number three, Moreholt goes into a somewhat extended discussion on the differences in magic systems, with an analogy involving rivers and peeing in ponds that leave sorcerers standing in the middle of their own pee water. Did you find his explanation effective? And if so, how do you think similar urine based analogies could be used in other popular works?
Yes, I think it worked brilliantly, which is another thing I love about this book. And that is part of the Misplaced Mercenaries thing is the humor in it. From the creative swearing to the way they look at the world to the way they treat some really serious situations, which of course is what humans do is use humor to get through it, right? But Moreholt's his humor is not like Keen's. It's different, which is really impressive that you were able to do. To take the character you're so familiar with and then make another funny character that's funny in a completely unique way. And I think that is part of the example is the way he explains things is not how Keen would do it, right? First of all, Keen wouldn't understand it, right? But so that kind of explanation, that is just more evidence of the different kind of humor that Moreholt has. Because Moreholt also, just like Keen, has a very close female, a sister, in this case, blood sister, though, right?
Right.
That they joke back and forth with, right? Just like Sarah and Keen did, except Raven gives it back double, and she's not joking. and Sarah more rolled her eyes and nodded at Keen, right? So their
Yeah.
relationship was different. But my point is, their relationship is different.
Sarah is
So
softer than Raven, and
yes.
I think I think really the main difference between Moreholt and um, and Keen is their type of intelligence. Moreholt is
Oh
more
yeah.
analytical and
Uh-huh.
what you would think of as book smart, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
While Keen is much more. Um, he's got more
Instincts.
practical, strength, street smart kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and neither one of them has any real emotional intelligence.
No.
Um, I don't think. That's Sarah's uh, bailiwick. Um, and um, and Raven is more like sort of the rebellious,
Anger in a body?
angry young woman. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I I had forgotten how dirty Raven was.
Raven Morehold's more dirty than she is. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I think Moreholt is well, and Megan makes that distinction in the last book. She when she's talking to Moreholt, and then she turns to Keen and says, I think he's dirtier than you are. Um, but and he really
He
is.
is. Yeah,
Um,
he is.
uh, but yeah, it is different. They've got, Keen is, despite the fact that Keen is sneaky and tricky, and he never attacks from the front when he can attack from behind.
Mhm.
Moreholt's actually a coward. He's
Yes.
he's scared
Of
all the time.
everything. Yeah.
Um, and anything that he does do that's brave, he actually has to sort of disassociate himself from what's going on.
Mhm.
Um, which that was there was some really there was some interesting underpinnings there that made me able to get a hold of the personality, and
Mm.
make sure that I wrote them differently.
Different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if readers understand from the right perspective how hard that can be sometimes. So it's really you do an impressive job with it. Um, but as for thinking if any other P analogies can be used, man, I am not that clever. My characters are clever because I take a long time deciding what they're gonna say. I am not that clever. So you came up with the question. Do you have one that you had in mind?
No, that
No,
was
just wondering.
totally it for you.
Yeah, I'm not that
I
clever.
was thinking, well, where would Gandalf sit in that? How would he use urine?
Gandalf doesn't have bodily functions. What are you talking about? That's the kind of fantasy that is. Yeah,
Okay,
no. He
number
wouldn't
4,
wouldn't happen.
with
Wait.
beloved.
Before you keep going, I do want to say hi to Christina. Christina joined us.
Oh,
Hello,
hey,
Christina.
Christina.
So she says hi. And hi to her husband who's at work.
Right?
They're talking through chat. That's the kind of relationship my husband and I have. That's how that works.
Yeah. So on this monitor over here, I keep
Mhm.
I keep my chat window up all day long, and that's how I talk to Lena, who is in the next room right
Yep.
over there.
This is modern relationship. We'll be 28 years in a week.
Oh, awesome. Let's see. Uh, will be 32, on the 8th of January.
That's fantastic. And I
Yeah.
think Christina and Charles are somewhere around the same. We're all old married couples.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
I made a good decision with that, and Lena did not. But I'm gonna say it
Lena
worked
did
out good
too.
for
You
me.
two are
So
perfectly matched. I got news for you. You are so well matched.
well, I hope so. I'm Yeah, I've said this before, but for people who have read the book, Keen
Mhm.
and Megan's relationship, I drew very, very heavily from my relationship with Lena. The way that Keen feels about Megan is 1,000% the way that I feel about Lena,
Oh.
um, and the way that Megan sort of cares for Keen and takes care of him.
Mhm.
Um, that's the way that Lena takes care of me.
I love
Next
it.
question. With beloved characters Keen and Megan going dark against their own children, Sarah maintaining a relationship with an incarnation of the literal creator of the universe, Brannick and Jasmine actively striving against the very soul of their nation,
Mhm.
and Romy populating her olive farm with buff versions of Morholt as workers. What things about this book made you say, Kevin, what the fuck are you doing? And what things made you say, Kevin, you magnificent bastard?
I mean, you know this one's my favorite. I put my name on it. And I did that on accident. But the story is because it is my favorite. So there was way more of Magnificent Bastard in this stuff. I loved this book. I love the way it escalated. I love where it went. Uh, the only problem I have is that I want more. So like I want this story to happen slower. So that really isn't this book I have a problem with. It's between 4 and 5. So this is not a spoiler, but the 5th book jumps ahead in time.
Mhm.
And I want more. The only biggest problem I had with this was Morholt and Raven going home. I did not effing want them to go home yet. I wanted more. So that was my biggest problem, hands down, is that they left. I wasn't done with them yet. The story might have been done. The world might have been done. I wasn't done.
Well, of course, you did get more Holt and Raven
There
in the
wasn't
next
enough
series.
in that either.
However, I will say that when they left, my intention was to write a book with just more Holt and Raven. Well, and some new friends that they pick up going back home and taking care of their situation with their parents.
Mhm.
And I,
You
I
could
might get
still do
around
that.
to it. Yeah,
You could still do
hopefully.
that.
Um,
So
yeah.
that's my big one. So my biggest problem is that I wanted more. And I don't again mean in this specific book because it's perfect length. It's very perfect. The pacing is perfect. This book is it's brilliant. But I wanted more of this in the next one. I wanted more with these characters. That is the only problem. So most of this was Brilliant Bastard. Um
I wonder though if maybe part of the attraction of those characters is that you don't get that much of them. I mean,
Nice try. No.
they're in book 3, and then and then you get a lot more of them because because Morholt's now he's a main character in this one. Um, I one of the things that I had forgotten about was the fact that the freehand Morholt's mercenary team um, was kind of problematic at first. They did not trust each other. They didn't work well together. Um,
They
they
all
they
had very
fought,
strong personalities. There's no natural follower in that group.
right,
Mhm.
and they fought with one another,
Mhm.
but by the end they were really firing on all cylinders. They
Mhm.
pretty much got it together and worked
Mhm.
together and trusted one another.
Mhm.
And I'd forgotten honestly that I'd done it at all. And it was really satisfying to
Mhm.
see that happen.
Mhm.
Um, and that is another really wonderful piece of having having an editor that you really trust, is letting somebody else look at the story progression and the pacing and how that works out,
Mhm.
and sort of looking over your shoulder and making sure that you're doing that right, because it's so easy to jump the gun on that kind of thing.
Mhm.
And
I'm trying to remember
or
in the tower scene. I know we had discussions in the tower scene about who was dying. Did you have
at
someone
the
else
Dover
die
House,
also at the end? And I was like, please don't kill anyone else. I'm
maybe
trying to
that
remember.
seems familiar.
Right? Because I was like, one's enough. I can't. I'm trying to
Well, I ended up
remember.
killing 2.
Oh, maybe I said you couldn't just kill the one. What did I say?
I don't remember, but I do. Okay, so what I do remember is that my solution was for Amelie to force Morholt into making the choice of who lived and who died. And that was, I thought that hit really well. I was really proud of that. Um, but I don't remember what the circumstances surrounding that were. I do remember that was my fix for it. I don't remember what the problem was. We did
Because
this
I
a
remember that being the
while
biggest
ago.
thing you and I went back and forth about. Now I can't. Apparently, we worked it out and it was all fine. I can't
Apparently,
remember. It was cool seeing Ginny again, though.
yes,
That
yeah,
was cool.
that was fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Ginny has another. Ginny was in the other book 4, and it shows
Oh.
you basically that one showed you that book 4 technically happened like right before this one,
Mhm.
because Amelie is in it, Reiner is in it, Ginny is in it, and it shows where Ginny was throughout all of this time. Um, and then she got sold, and actually, I think she got released. It was yeah, it was Hardin's granddaughter released her because she was going to get eaten, and she didn't want to see her get eaten because she was a mom. She had kids, so she's like, no. She has to release her and just
Hardin
let her
being a
go and let her
grandpa is
take
so
her time.
weird in my brain. Hold on, give me a second. Let me.
Well, it's on a pirate ship, and so it's like the only thing she has to do for fun is like play with the piglets, and so she bonds with the piglets, and then goes and releases them all. I'm pretty sure that's the way that works. Anyway, okay. Last question that I've got for you.
Mhm.
Jasmine truly comes into her own in this book. She
She
is
does.
shown at the height of her control and powers as a princess of Tyrann, and
Mhm.
is unquestionably the
Mhm.
smartest person in every room she enters.
Oh, for sure.
But she has a weakness for
Mhm.
Tove the Mountain that defines her personality as much or more than any other trait,
Mhm.
both her attraction for Tove
Mhm.
and her refusal to give in to it.
Mhm.
How does Jasmine's relationship with Tove and her brother Jason affect your thinking of her?
It just makes her more human. Like her father, Brannick, I don't really see him as human.
Interesting.
Um,
How so?
but Jasmine, I do because she felt love. Even Brannick, the way he feels about his daughter isn't really love. If he feels a moment of love, it's just at the very ending, and it's almost a shock to him that he feels it.
Yeah.
So
He
I
doesn't know where to put that feeling.
correct, right? Or at least that's how I interpret it as well.
I
And
think he says as
so
much.
yeah, but she can feel love, which probably means he probably could too when he was younger, right? But it just he had to hide it. How do you survive in the world he had to survive in at the position he is in and
Yeah.
actually care deeply about something? You wouldn't survive mentally, right? Hence why, his brother went to the birds, right? Um or his uncle, right? Uncle? Yeah, uncle.
Yeah, it was his uncle. Yeah, his
Right?
his
He was like, "I'm gonna go to the Orvins. I'm gonna live up here," right? Because he figured it out younger, right? So Brannick could not have survived. He could not be the character that we saw if he did feel love in the way I define it anyways, right? Like more traditional sense. So, but Jasmine, when she was falling for and it surprised her too, right?
yeah.
First of all, I
He was
love that
very
there was
upset by
no
it.
mention. It didn't matter what the fuck the gender was. So thank you for that. That had nothing to do with anything, right?
No.
But the fact that she could feel the attraction first, the want, And the longing, I think the very first time you say it, you actually call it longing. And so Jasmine had always been focused. She knew her place in the world. She didn't want that place in the world. She knew where she belonged in that world and she aimed for it, right? So that was Jasmine, very much like her father, right? And then when she gets that softness, but she has to bury it just like her father did. Okay, I'm starting to talk myself into her father was probably just like her when she was little. So, which also means what I was thinking earlier is that Brannick actually liked her best in the end because she reminded him of himself, right? And of course, he thought, you can't, how
Sure.
can you be like me if you don't have a penis? And it's like, no, no, it's you. You are the most like me. And she really, really was. And so I don't know, I guess for me, it was just, she was feeling love and she did love Jason from the very moment, right? Like that we saw.
Yeah.
She loved Jason right away. And the Tove thing, that was a surprise to her. And I had forgotten that she was up there, like in the last book, that she was up there doing diplomatic stuff. I'd forgotten that. So that means that her and Tove already knew each other
Yes.
and probably already had this friendship kind of thing going, right? And then in
Yeah.
here, but
She had
yet through
spent.
that time, she didn't actually feel that attraction, but that means it was growing in her. So when they were together again and she looked in her eye and then that longing came, she was like, holy shit, what is this? I don't like it. I don't have time for it. It needs to go away. What the fuck's going on right now? Right?
Yeah, she spent, I think, most of the previous year in the Gringards in Tove's court. But she didn't develop that attraction until Tove was there to meet Jason,
Mm-hmm.
which was really inconvenient timing. Um, but I'm not sure, I'm not 100% sure that even if she had felt that attraction before it was a problem, that she would have allowed
Mm,
herself to act on it. Um,
I don't
she's
know.
a,
We should find the writer and ask him.
yeah, yeah, that'd be a good idea.
That'd be a good idea. We should do that for the next show.
I mean, it's not even that she's exactly repressed. She just has she has a very clear sense of duty. In a
Yes.
lot of ways, to me, Jasmine is a mirror of Megan. It's sort of
Oh
a
yeah.
dark mirror.
Well, not
Um,
just that, I agree because Jasmine, of any of these characters that were featured in this, because Megan wasn't really featured, right? So that were featured in this, Jasmine knows exactly who she is. She knows exactly who she is.
yeah,
And she knows exactly what she's capable of. And she knows exactly her spot in this world. And not accepting of all those things, but she's well aware of all of it. And most of these characters are searching for this, they're searching for that, trying to figure out where they belong, or know who they are, but they don't like it, so they want to hide it, or blah, 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 right? But she knows exactly who she is. Megan's like that too. Megan knows exactly who she is. So I think that's kind of refreshing. And that's it's funny you talk about that specific scene, right, with her and Tove when she first feels the longing, and Jason does the fight, right? That fight, even reading it again now, I was like, on that fight is awful. But emotionally. And so, like, I also think it's very clever that you did that you put that scene in because Jasmine was also having win after win after win, making no mistakes, win after win after win, doing great. She's still young,
yeah.
right? She's going to make mistakes. So the fact that you put that in there, that she makes this big mistake in like that, and that her father calls her on it, I think that was a very healthy way. A healthy might be not the right word. A very believable, realistic way that people grow. So even though she knows exactly who she is, that doesn't mean it's exactly who she wants to be. And so it's very not that she gets much choice from the ending,
I,
but up to that point, right? She did. So I love that big flaw that she did. It's one thing she didn't think through,
yeah,
which makes me think it's because she was distracted.
yes, and she admits as much.
Yeah.
But I think it gave me an opportunity to highlight the changes in Brannick's thinking,
Mhm.
because in previous books he was like, she's the smartest and most capable of all my kids. It's a goddamn shame she doesn't have a penis because I can't use her.
Yeah.
She
Yep.
at best I can do is marry her off to somebody. This book starts with Brannick saying, you know, I think I was wrong. I think she's going to be the future of this country.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she makes that mistake, which is bad for a lot of reasons,
Mm-hmm.
um, he actually, because he starts out saying, you know, it's over. We gave this a shot. You fucked it up, and you know we're going to have to figure out
That's it.
something else. But then he ultimately comes around and actually forgives her. And this
Mm-hmm.
is not a forgiving human being. He's that's not a part of his tool set. And when he starts thinking about it, he's like, I don't even really know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then finally he's like, I guess maybe I have done it. You know, I have forgiven her. And that's a huge step for him. Um, and I loved the fact that Brannick got some character growth. He got some genuine, real life character growth, because, like you say, he starts out um, very uncompromising and cold and, well, hot, cold, but just not. He's not a good person at all. There's no redeeming
He was
qualities.
pretty one note. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but he got the opportunity to grow, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought that I was really happy um, with it. You know, a lot of times when you're writing, I've got I've always got an outline,
Mm-hmm.
but then sometimes your characters will surprise you and make you go back and rewrite parts of your outline, and I think that was one of those moments, because I didn't in when I was writing it in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
it made perfect sense. But when I was writing the outline, I didn't think about it at all. But when I got deep enough into Brannick's head, that's what he did, and that was kind of wonderful. All
I
right,
love
so
it.
I am done with all of my questions for you.
Yay! Well, I do want to say that Christina says that what I was saying earlier is that you need to write a 4.5 just for me and then for them too. I mean, as Kevin was trying to say, and I interrupted him there is more Morholt and Raven in his second series that takes place in this world, in the Wrong Way series. So you do get a glimpse of them. And I'm assuming they're more important in book 3, right?
What do
Because I
you want
haven't
me to
read book
say
3
here?
yet. Huh?
What do you want me to say here?
You can
They
say yes or no if they're more important in book 3.
No, they're not.
Damn it. Then I want you to rewrite book 3. Okay, no, okay. Here we go. Um, so yeah, so that's what Christina says. We need more. And Charles says Harden would be Dirty Grandpa's 3. Wait, does that mean there's already 2 Dirty Grandpas? Should I Google that, Charles? Is that a good idea? Should I Google that?
Um,
Um,
Now Harden was in the other book 4, and I'm planning on going back and reworking that book and giving it to Kelly, and just making that one sort of a standalone. Um, but the last we saw was Harden. Um, let's see what happened.
off to retire? Was he off to retire on the island?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Because him and
He had
right?
he had gotten killed, but then he didn't die,
Yeah, we know he's immortal now.
and then he just kind of left. Yeah, and so this is what happens. With it starts out with Harden goes to be with his daughter Benna, um, and he has a granddaughter now, and so his granddaughter is like the pirate princess, um, and so he's imparting his knowledge to her, um, and he apparently kind of still has a thing going on with the deep witch.
I think that's so funny. I freaking love that. And if you want to know more about the Deep Witch, there's an entire series written by it. First 2 books are out now, and that is Jen Baer's series, Hetty Stormheart. So highly recommend if you want to see a little bit more about the Deep Witch there. She's kind of important. And you actually get more about the Paradisals, which, by the way, now that we have these other series in this world, as I'm reading all of these different continents, I can put them in place better now. Like, it's so funny to me, right? Like, it makes sense. Of course it does. But now that we've got others, it feels more real even.
Did you
right? It
spot
feels
Heron and Rain?
Yes. 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 And that's in the Wrong Way series too, y'all. So if you want to see what that one is. So it's pretty devastating. But also funny too, because that's in there as well. Kevin likes to break your hearts and make you laugh while you're crying. Let's see. Charles says, he's like, fair. Charles says, I was sorry to see anger get a hold of her. Yeah, me too. Happy then that Sarah was able to shatter the mind chart and free her. She will truly be a force now. Oh, you wait, Charles. Book 5 is coming. And
so
says,
this book was about Sarah and Moorholt, and then a little bit of Sarah and Finnegal at the end.
Oh well, yeah, Finnegal, yeah.
The next book is very, very much Sarah and Jasmine,
and we have a lot to talk about on that one.
Yeah, that one's gonna make me cry.
Yeah, me too. So, and that is the 5th book in the series, Misplaced Mercenaries. It is the last one in this particular series. It will be the last one for this round of Shore Leave Book Club. And Charles, we do want to tell you, first of all, happy birthday. We didn't forget. We remembered. We're very, very happy that it is your birthday. So sorry you had to work today, but glad that you jumped in for a little bit on Black Friday to say hello and give us your comments. And we have decided for our giveaway for Shore Leave Book Club that we're going to give you a birthday present instead. So Kevin, what are we going to give Charles for his birthday?
I am going to be signing the entire series and sending it to you, hard copies. Yeah, that's so it's all 5 books. And and do we have? Can we send him one of the Jolly Chickens too?
We can't. They already have one though, because they got one with Christina.
Okay. All right.
So they've got one. So we'll send the 5, and we will. Kevin will sign them for you, as he said. We'll make sure to get those to you. I'm assuming your address is the same as your wife's, so I have that already. So we are going to send those to you for your birthdays, for being here and loving the series, and then because I know that he's also been listening to them on audio. So this way, he will have his shelf trophies to put up on the shelf.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, we listened to, what was it, like 20, 25 different audio narrators, something like that. And the one that we picked,
Chris was awesome.
Chris Kelly.
Yeah.
He was the only one out of all of them that seemed to have a handle on the humor. Everybody else was great with the dramatic readings and stuff, but they were super flat with the humor, and so there were no natural. You didn't laugh when you were listening to them. And I really liked the way that he did the first book, and then he did the second book, and I'm like, yeah, that's even better. It's because he was pretty new to the game when he first started. But as he went, he was taking classes. He was investing in his tech. He was taking, acting classes, narrating classes, all this stuff. Got to book 3, and I'm like, motherfucker, because now I was enjoying his reading of it more than I was my own reading of it, and I was enjoying his voice more than mine, and and like he would pronounce something differently from the way that I pronounced it in my head. And so I just changed the way that I pronounced it in my head because, I'm like, okay, you did it right.
That works.
That worked.
I love it. Didn't he send you outtakes?
Yeah. Oh no, the funny outtakes. We
Uh-huh.
talked about it, but no, I never got them from him.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I wanted to, he thought that he had them, and he went back and he apparently had recorded them.
I mean, it takes up a lot of space. I get that.
Yeah.
I just remember when we interviewed him, he was talking about how sometimes he was just laughing because when he read him the first time, that he would laugh so hard that he'd have to stop and go back and re-record it because he was laughing. I mean, some of these things you have to say with a straight face, right? Like, and so you can't. It's just, and I mean, what more could you want? As a writer, to have someone truly appreciating your stuff so much they forget they're supposed to be working, right? I mean,
he played Moorholt Irish, which I didn't think about. I know it never even occurred to me, but I guess it made sense to him because he's red haired, wears his armor is green, and so it was a natural reach for Chris. And then as soon as I heard the voice, I'm like, yeah, that's how he talks. Sure, that totally makes sense. And now in my head, that's the way he talks. Yeah, he's a leprechaun, right? No. Oh, do you have a favorite ex of Moorholt's? Because I do. Yeah, one of his exes. Is there one that you like more than the others?
yeah, yeah, the one that makes the copies of him because she's the most, I suck at names. I'm so sorry. You even said her name earlier too. Yes. Yeah, because she's the most stable. Like she's the one that survived him.
I really liked Romy because
and we see her again later too.
She was the one who still loved him.
Yeah.
But I also really liked Gluff because Gluff was like, yeah, okay, it makes sense that you wouldn't, but I think that you wouldn't for the same reason that I do. Because Gluff is like that dangerous, crazy chick. And you're going to have a good time when you're with that dangerous, crazy chick. You're going.
Not my definition of a good time.
You might wake up in the hospital, or in the parking lot in some other town. But it's going to have been fun, whether you can remember it or not. And so, that I had a lot of affection for her, and I had forgotten how fast she died. But hey, Gluff is also in the next series,
which is the part I'm not looking forward to. So we'll talk about that later. I mean, we won't talk about that later. We'll talk about it when I edit the thing. But it's not.
You already edited that book. That one's out.
No, she's got to be in the third book too, doesn't she?
That's book 2.
No, but I mean, she has to be in book 3.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, she is a little bit.
Yeah. I'm like, she has to be. That was the whole point of yeah. Yeah, so that's fun. And earlier when I said I'm assuming, that Charles lives with his wife in the same house, and Christina says, nah, he lives outside. And Charles goes, in the doghouse. I told you they've been married a long time too, just like us.
Just
to each
add
other,
a B to the end of the address.
That's right. Just add check the doghouse. I love it. I love it. All right. So, that was fun. I still love talking about these books. Yeah, this is going to be fun. We do have who is going to be our new author and series combo. We will announce it in December for our next meeting, which is December 26th.
And I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, I'm so excited too. It'll be fun. And these will be rereads. So this will be a new read for me. I think I read the first book a long time ago and that was it.
I haven't read these at all. I've read
These will
I've
be
read
fun.
some of this author's other work, but I haven't
Mhm.
I haven't read these books. And I'm very,
And
very happy about it.
it is, yes, it is. So it'll be December 26th. We'll be talking about Heroes Kill Everyone by Kevin Pettway. It's the fifth and last book in the Misplaced Mercenary series. And so we will be here to talk about that, and I'm very excited. And then we will make the announcement for the new series that we will start with the new year. And this new series is 3 books long, so it is a trilogy. So it'll be a trilogy next. So very excited. So if you have any friends who want to come along, make sure they join us, share the info, and we'll get some more people on here to talk about these awesome books.
And just
Christina
to warn
says,
everybody, this series ends on a upbeat, hopeful note. And it makes me cry every single time I read it. So just warning everybody.
I know what I made you change on this one, talking about crying. I remember. I'm still scarred by it. I'm glad no one else will ever have to read it. You'll see. But there's also a part where, I made you cut out your favorite chapters so we could talk about that too.
Yeah. Actually, I think what I'll do is I'll just I'll put that on the website, and maybe if anybody wants to read that, we'll just give them the URL and they can go take a look at
I
it.
think that's a brilliant idea. So if you want a secret cut chapter that was in the 5th book, make sure you come and we will give you a secret URL so that you can go read it. It'll be
Yeah,
fun.
the chapter gets referenced in the book, but it's just they're talking about, oh, I went and did this thing and this happened. But it's I thought it was it was both very funny and very heartfelt. Um,
Yep.
I liked
Yep.
it.
Yep. And though we do have spoilers, it's only spoilers for this book. So hence, we're not going to talk about it yet until you get to the next one.
Right.
So, and then we'll spoil all the things because then, you've had a chance to read it and it will be fun. So yes, we are meeting on the 26th. I know it's Boxing Day for like the UK, but I mean, I'm not doing anything on the 26th. You do anything on the 26th, Kevin?
Just this.
See, me too. Excellent. All right. Thank you, everyone. And happy birthday once again, Charles. And do you have any last words, Kevin? Or is there anywhere exciting you're going to be?
Not until March, I don't think.
Okay.
So, well, yeah. I've got some things that I sent out. I don't know. I was excited about getting the library here. That was kind of fun. Jacksonville
That's
library
fun.
system is they're they want to be very big city, and it's it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Hmm.
But it finally, I finally jumped through all their hoops, and they were happy. They were very happy about it, and they ordered all of them. And
Yay.
so yeah, that was exciting. That and Gulfport, Mississippi, also also in the library system there.
I love it. That is so exciting. So
Yeah.
cool. So cool. Awesome. Awesome.
All right. Yeah. I love this. This is wonderful. And I love talking about my own books, but I'm also really excited about getting some other authors on here and, digging into their stuff. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
I agree. It'll be fun. We'll have a 3 box. There'll be 3 people in the discussion. It'll be cool. You'll be downgraded to co-host. Sorry. You and I will now be co-hosts. You'll no longer be author.
I'm actually really looking forward to that.
You're like, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's going to be happy and exciting. And like I said, that gives me I while I was asking you questions, you edited them, but you were not the writer. So
Correct. Yeah.
I couldn't, I can, and it's hard to ask some of those questions without appearing really super pompous. So
Wait, are you trying not to, Kevin? I mean, who are we hiding here? This book's about truth. So, we can I trust you. You can be truthful.
All right. Yeah. But
He's like, cut the tape, quick, cut the tape.
no, you know me.
I do.
I love chatting about all of this, and
Mhm.
you know, and books and talking with writers, and this is very much my happy space. So um,
Yep.
you know, thanks
I love
again
it.
for putting all this together and letting me be the co-host. I'm very happy about that.
Hey, you made all the pretty graphics. How could I say no? I mean, look at these things. They're gorgeous.
Yeah, that was the idea. I just
You bribed me with pretty pictures. I mean, I'm easy. Ask Kevin, my Kevin. Christina says, I was going to ask Kevin, are you staying to host with the next series? Well, there you go. Yes, he is.
yeah, the intention is that I will be the permanent co-host, and I'm I'm very excited about that. I really enjoy um, digging into the characters and the motivations, and you know, what was this character thinking, and what were you thinking when you wrote it, and you know, that kind of stuff. That's a lot of fun.
It'll be a lot of
So yes,
fun.
be happy to continue to see you here.
Mhm. Very cool. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We will let you go. You can get back to your holiday excitement. I'm going to a cool little book festival that's happening tomorrow. So that'll be fun. Downtown Houston. We'll see all the excitement, see if I can meet some more amazing authors and local creators. That's my favorite thing. And yeah, I guess that's it. So we will see you on December 26th. And what? Yes, at 8 p.m. Central. We'll see you
Mhm.
then. Bye, everyone.